Hello and welcome to our Science of Learning podcast, brought to you by the DBE-E3 and hosted by me, Moekesin Choba. In this special edition, we will be focusing on entrepreneurship in a two-part series. In the first part, we have the pleasure of chatting with Ms. Rufaro Mudimu, who is the CEO of ENKE, who developed the Trailblazer Plus program, which is a 9-month leadership and social action program for grade 8 to 11 that empowers elected learner leaders in the RCLs or prefects in some schools and other aspiring high school leaders to build power skills while leading schools and community projects that tackle issues in their schools and communities. With over 10 years of experience in youth empowerment, ENKE continues to grow in becoming a transformative engine in unleashing the inherent assets of youth to achieve positive socioeconomic change. Rufaro, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Moketsi.
Sure. Going straight into it, I gave a brief overview of ENKE, but in a more comprehensive manner. Can you tell me more about your organization?
Sure. So ENKE was started in 2009 with the idea of connecting, equipping, and inspiring youth to build a society that's more socially and economically inclusive. So what we do is we promote social entrepreneurship and innovation as a powerful way to reduce inequality while equipping young people for success in future endeavors. So we have various holistic programs that pass on the skills and belief systems that enable young people to be the change that they seek. So in brief, our name ENKE is from the Setswana word for ink and the Sotho word for grab it or take it as inke. And so this is part of our philosophy of empowering young people to become authors of their future and lead change for themselves and their community so they make their mark. So since 2009, we've trained over 10,000 young people through our different youth programs, and we've supported youth to generate over 1,500 social action and enterprise projects that have benefited over 100,000 people in their home communities across South Africa. So our vision is to create an enabling environment for young people to recognize their value, thrive, and mobilize for meaningful change for themselves in their own lives, as well as in their communities and in the country.
One of your focus directives is that the youth have inherent assets that are waiting to be unleashed. What are they?
So those inherent assets, I think it's everything to do with how young people are able to problem solve, that they are the experts in the issues that affect them. So if your default position is that young people are fundamentally capable, they're interested and willing, it completely changes how you approach young people and the issues that can affect them, that stop them from being able to use those assets in a positive way. So what we do from the unleashing part is we create an environment, safe space, network, community, and especially tools for young people to be able to discover what exists within them and to build that and channel that to building something positive in their communities.
So what skills do the youth need to develop to become successful entrepreneurs?
So there's two sides. So there's the technical skills and what we call at ENKE power skills. So power skills are also referred to as non-cognitive skills or soft skills. And those include things like grit, resilience, creativity, entrepreneurship, taking initiative, adaptability, being able to learn continuously, having a growth mindset, and really being able to be opportunistic. So that's what we call the entrepreneurial mindset. And those power skills are more mindset related and about recognizing and building mental models and muscles to think and approach the world in a certain way, to solve problems and be part of solutions. And then there's the technical skills. So things about how to design a project or a business, things that add value to an individual, to other individuals that people will purchase, how to mobilize resources and support for that business or for that project, building a team, managing a team, the list goes on. Like in terms of the technical things that a good entrepreneur needs, it's a constant learning process. But we can teach. So the difference between the technical and the power skills is you can teach someone to make a good presentation, But the power skills is to be able to, after, if your good presentation doesn't work out, how do you bounce back from it? How do you then use that learning to apply it to a new issue or a new way of thinking so that you can be successful? So what we do in our Trailblazer Plus program is we actually train youth with both those power and technical skills to be applied in creating a solution that they can immediately see an impact and value creation. So through their school or community action projects.
Yeah, I really like ENKE's focus on entrepreneur mindset. So since ENKE's focus on school level, how can schools create an environment that fosters entrepreneurship?
I think it's important for them to really think about how do you allow learners to contribute and have a voice, having time for creative problem solving, so not just the rote learning that we are often exposed to in the formal academic environment, to have projects where you're applying these skills or this way of thinking. Another way, I think it also starts with educators. So both those who are leaders, so principals, and those in the classroom, allowing space for alternative methods such as project-based learning or experiential approaches that are really great for building an entrepreneurial mindset. We also have a lot of organizations, nonprofit organizations, after schools programs that schools can actually engage with. So opening that up really enables schools to provide that space for young people to thrive.
So in your experience, what resources are available for schools to teach youth to achieve positive socioeconomic change?
The great thing is that there's a lot out there, but it's very hard to sift through. I recommend eCubed. They have really great resources for educators around project-based learning and how to integrate that thinking in their curriculums, as well as for educators how to put that together. And I really encourage partnering with nonprofit organizations that have already kind of thought this through and built curriculums around entrepreneurship. So it's really for schools to say yes when they're approached by nonprofits who do this work, and provide that time and space and encouragement for people to engage with such programs. So especially for the learners, just to give that space. I also highly recommend, there's great resources from African Leadership Academy, from Educate Uganda, as well as lots of other different projects. ENKE has great resources that we're also training other people in. So it's about providing those spaces for educators to engage.
How should we measure the success of programs involving the youth?
So the first one is you have to go beyond attendance. So it's not about how many bums are in the seats listening, but what action happens after that exposure takes place. So what action or change has occurred in the life of the youth and or the school or community as a result of a program, and what is the ways that that organization measures it. Also looking at what the young people can speak to. So that qualitative engagement, those anecdotes that will really help to understand some of the intangible aspects. Because when you talk mindset change, it is an incremental approach and it's very intangible, so difficult to measure. But there are organizations such as ENKE that do measure this and see, and you can actually see the change in the youth in the schools themselves.
My final question to you, can you share some of ENKE's success stories?
Sure, I'm going to share three. So one is Kiara Ramklas, who was a trailblazer in 2010. She started a project called Marimba Jam as a way to get music programming into schools. She did this when she was in grade 11 and decided to continue it beyond high school and now beyond university. It's now a thriving social enterprise. So I highly recommend checking out Marimba Jam. They have it at Stedford. They do programming in schools, as well as our business that actually ensures that there's this music programming that takes place. In 2020, we had Trailblazers, even during school closures, etc. We had Neo Cholo and Beshokonolo. They created this project called Teens with a Vision, and they were looking at how can they tackle poverty and other social issues that had been exacerbated by COVID-19. So they actually designed a project where they were collecting sanitary towels, face masks, sanitizers, food to distribute in their communities. Neil is now studying at WITS, and he was recently selected to participate as an ENKE representative as one of our alumni. He attended the African Leadership Academy Model African Union. He did really well in that. And this is just examples of how you can engage young people to actually create those solutions and ensuring that there's a support system to make that happen. So we also have an example of Cabello. She's a trailblazer from last year, and he started a Facebook page for his school. So he goes to a school in rural Limpopo, and he realized that there is no social media for a school. There's no way for people to know what's going on in his school. So he actually went to his principal and he pitched, and he was able to create that picture. He takes pictures of his school, the activities that his RCL is doing, and he posts them on Facebook, and that just gives people a little bit more of a sense that this is a positive activity that's happening at the school. So those are all entrepreneurial endeavors that are having a positive impact and can have positive impacts in the school. So that's a few examples of some of those success stories. And we have many, many more from the 10,000 youth that we've worked with across the country as well. So we really encourage you to check out ENKE, as well as other organizations and really great after-school programs that are working towards building and this entrepreneurial mindset and these experiences for young people to thrive beyond school.
Thank you very much, Rufaro Mudimu, the CEO of ENKE, for chatting to me today, and most importantly, for sharing your insights and unpacking the successes and challenges we face in this country in unleashing the power and potential of our youth. In the next episode on this series, I will be chatting to Komala Pillay, who is the CEO of Citizen Leader Lab, which offers a variety of programs and workshops that work towards social cohesion and social change in South Africa. One of their main programs is Partners for Possibility, which approaches school as a unit of change and collaborates with private sector business leaders who team up with school principals to support capacity building.